watching the Bulldog Brewhouse Podcast.
Hey everybody, it's Steve Grover back for another episode of the Bulldog Brewhouse Podcast. I hope everyone had a great stampede. I did. I went down to the grounds and did some rides and, won a bunch of stuffed animals and had my annual corn dog, my draft root beer, and my mini donuts. Unfortunately, I did miss the curly fries, so I'm going to have 2 orders of curly fries in the summer of 2025, the next stampede. But it was a good time. Hopefully everyone's enjoying this nice hot weather. 35 degrees is great. I mean, I got my AC cranked at the office, at home. My dogs, Alaw, Winston and Ruzy, they're just chilling at home right now in a nice air-conditioned house. But, we're here again for another episode. And I've got the honor of having Mr. Blair Hog present as our guest today. How are you doing, Blair?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Good. So nice to have you today. How do you enjoy this nice heat coming in, this heat wave, 35 degrees every day?
You know what? I am happy at like 20 usually.
Yeah.
But then when it was 20 the other day, I was
Yeah.
cold.
Okay.
Because I was used to the heat. So.
Yeah. Okay. But you got AC at home?
Oh, yeah. It's cranked.
Okay. Cranked. Okay. So I know who you are. I mean, we've been like acquaintances and then friends for quite some time, almost 10 years now.
Yeah.
And
2000. It would have been 2018 when we met.
Yeah, so 6 years. Okay. Yeah, my math is terrible. That's
Sorry.
That's why I became a lawyer. And we met through One Broken Biker, correct?
Yeah.
And you're a member of One Broken Biker.
I am.
And that is that non-for-profit organization out there that raises money to help injured riders.
Yeah.
And I think I met you at one of their it was one of their biker nights.
It would have been one of the bike nights at
Yeah.
Big Sky,
Yeah. And I think we clicked right away because you like Ducatis and I like Ducatis.
Of course. Ducatis are awesome.
Not everybody likes Ducatis, but I mean, I've been a Ducati fan for like almost 30 years now.
Yeah.
I've had lots of Ducatis, and so tell my viewers exactly. So where are you from originally?
I'm from Alberta, born and raised.
Okay.
I grew up in a small town just outside of Calgary.
What town is that?
It's Carsland, Alberta.
Okay.
600 people.
Okay.
Small town.
And then what brought you to Calgary?
I originally came to Calgary to go to school.
Okay.
And then partied a little too much at school, so I just went to the workforce.
Okay, cool. And then, so currently you're still living in Calgary.
Yeah.
And you got active with One Broken Biker because unfortunately you were involved in a pretty serious accident.
In 2017.
Yeah, do you mind telling people what happened exactly?
No, I don't mind at all. I was at a Ducati rally in Nelson, BC.
Yeah.
We always go about a day early, and we went out for lunch the first day, and we were on our way back from lunch in Caslow.
Okay.
And we passed we just as we got to Belfort, and that's where the ferry lets out, right? All the ferry traffic let out just before we got there. So we were passing that ferry traffic.
Okay.
And we pulled out to pass. There was few guys ahead of me, and then some other people behind us. The 3 guys ahead of me pulled out to pass 3 cars.
Mm-hmm.
And I only know this from history because I don't remember the accident at all. I know I usually wouldn't pull out with that group of guys.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have pulled out till they got to the last vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So when they got to the last vehicle, I would have pulled out and just hammered it. But they tell me that when they got to the bumper of that last vehicle, it turned its left-hand signal light on.
Yeah.
So they all locked up their brakes and I kept going.
Oh.
So when I seen them stopped and the vehicle turning, I hit the brakes and skidded for like 100 feet.
Okay.
Bike came up from underneath me, slid across the pavement, hit the back of my head on a telephone pole.
Yeah.
Spun and fell down the embankment like 12 feet.
Okay. So sorry to hear about the accident. What was your ride that day when you're riding down from Belfort? Were you going back from Belfort to Nelson?
Yeah, we were on our way to Nelson. Yeah.
Yeah, I've driven that road several times. It's single lane each way. It's kind of curvy.
Yeah.
It's a fun road to take on, but unfortunately, that was a bad day for you.
It was a horrible day. Yeah.
And what kind of Ducati you were riding that day?
I was riding the DS Multistrada, the dual spark Multistrada.
Yeah. Okay.
I had just rebuilt the bike.
Yeah.
Did a total custom bike. I actually painted it orange.
Mm-hmm.
It was a tribute bike for my daughter.
Okay.
I put the last piece on in the parking lot the night before I crashed.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, I mean, yeah, unfortunately, I think you said you hit your head, and you suffered a pretty bad brain injury. Is that correct?
Yeah, I have a traumatic brain injury.
Yeah. Okay. And how long were you in rehab for that?
I was in the hospital for 2 months.
Here back in Calgary?
They flew me to Kelowna,
Okay, General Hospital there.
and then I was in Kelowna for a while, and then once I was stabilized and they had done the surgery on my broken foot,
Yeah.
they medevaced airplane me back to Calgary. That is my first memory is waking up in Calgary.
Okay.
And that was like 3 weeks after the accident.
Okay, so it's quite the amnesia you had after the
Oh, yeah.
accident. Okay, were you? I mean, I don't know if anyone ever told you. Were you in a coma at all?
They induced me into a coma.
In medical induced coma.
Yeah.
Okay, how long did they keep you in the coma for?
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Okay.
A few days, I think.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Then you got medevac back to Calgary.
Yeah.
The foothills.
Yeah.
And then how long were you there for?
In total, both hospitals, it was exactly 2 months. It was 2 months to the day.
Okay. All right. And then after you got from foothills, did they move you to the Glenmore Care West Center?
No, I went home.
Okay.
I was home for about a month before outpatient rehab started.
Okay.
And then I was going to rehab for movement, occupational therapy,
Yeah.
speech.
Yeah. You've
I
seen
was-
all this stuff, speech pathology and
Yeah.
OT and functional assessments and all that fun stuff.
I was relearning everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How long did it, like, obviously, you suffer a brain injury. I mean, cognitively, you still have some ongoing symptomology from the brain injury a little bit here and there.
I mean, the biggest thing is fatigue
Yeah.
and memory.
Okay.
Memory's horrible.
So
right.
what's affected your short-term memory or long-term memory?
My short.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Like if I make an appointment or agree to meet with somebody somewhere,
yeah.
if I don't put it in my phone,
Yeah.
I'm not going.
So obviously, if I told you about your Ferrari, you'd forget about it in 5 minutes.
No.
I'm just joking.
No, what I would forget was to go meet you to get the Ferrari.
All right.
What day that was. I wouldn't forget that you got it for me. I would forget the day I was supposed to go get it.
Okay. All right. So obviously, I mean, obviously this was a very traumatic accident. And here at Grover Law Firm, unfortunately, we deal with a lot of those kind of cases in our office. And I know it was a single vehicle accident. This car pulls out and you hit the telephone pole. Just out of curiosity, do you remember what type of helmet you had on that day? Like what the make and model?
I was wearing Scorpion.
Scorpion?
Yeah.
Was it full face?
Full face.
Okay.
I always wear full face.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I know there's a difference of opinion out there. Like, you get out in Florida and you're on the interstate and you see this guy whip by in a Harley and he's got his hair flowing with no helmet. Unfortunately, here in Canada, we have helmet laws that you need to wear helmets.
Yeah.
But obviously, someone has gone through a brain injury and a traumatic motorcycle accident. You would recommend people wearing a helmet.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, I put on a half helmet, but it still covers the full back of my head.
Yeah.
To go to the grocery store or to do a small little trip. But if I'm going anywhere in distance or anywhere where I'm going to be running into traffic or running into curves where you tend to wick it up a little bit,
Yeah.
I'm wearing full gear.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? Kevlar pants, if not leather pants.
Yeah.
Leather
Boots.
gloves, leather jacket, full face helmet,
Boots.
full boots.
Full boots. Yeah. Okay. Like half boots or full boots.
Depending. I used to wear full calf boots all the time, 24/7.
Yeah.
I do wear a set of ankle highs or above the ankles now.
Yeah.
Just for when I'm doing some small hopping around. But if I'm doing any serious riding, I'm wearing my full boots.
Full boots. Okay. All right. So obviously, I mean, you've come a far way in the last. Like, what year was your accident? 2017. Yeah. And now we're in 2024.
Yeah.
Obviously, 7 years has passed. You've come a far way since. I didn't. Fortunately, I didn't know you at the time of the accident because it would have been a very traumatic thing. I met you after at a One Broken Biker event, and I saw, you come along, and you've come a far way. And you at that weekend, you're at the Ducati rally, and it's always a great weekend in the end of June, going into July.
Yeah.
Put on by Chris Spears. He does a great job every year.
Yes.
And I know what you've gone through, and like we made an announcement last year at the rally that hey, Grover Law Firm is going to pay your registration fee every year for you to go, and fortunately you were there again this year. Hey,
Yeah, no, it was good.
Yeah.
I didn't do a ton of group rides this year.
Yeah.
I kind of go out and just do my own little rides, and
Yeah.
right. I don't go out with the packs. I just right. I mean, I partied a little bit more than usual this year too, so that hindered the riding a little bit. But I mean, it's good to go to be social, right?
Yeah.
There's so many people there that weren't there last year that were there this year. They're like, it was so good to see them, and they were so happy to see me because they hadn't seen me since the accident either. So, because last year was the first full rally I'd been to since my accident.
Yeah. Okay.
So
you made a big headways, and I mean, there are a lot of head injuries out there, and they do call it the silent injury because I could see you walking down the street and like Blair, you look normal, but you could have some loss of memory, you could have some irritability, and unfortunately, we don't have a prosthetic brain. You would agree with that? I mean, if you do lose your leg, you could always get a prosthetic leg, or now they have these chip legs that they're almost like robotic legs.
Right.
But going through this kind of injury, and what would you recommend to people that have been in accidents and unfortunately have suffered in like a TBI, as you call it, traumatic brain injury? It's just a long process, hey?
It's a never-ending process.
Yeah.
It'll never end.
Okay.
You're always fighting the effects of the injury, and you will forever. Depression comes with that. Anxiety comes with that. That's stuff that I will fight for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
It's putting things in place to cope and deal with the memory loss and stuff like that to make your life easier. And if you can keep doing that stuff, everything's better, right? Like it's better. It's never going to be perfect.
No.
You just have to put the things in place and hopefully have the people around you that know how to support you properly.
Okay. And then, so, you went through rehab, and they've got a good brain injury center here at the Foothills.
Yeah.
And you went through that program, and they gave you the tools to function day to day, and, you're back to work now, and
no, I'm
still off work?
I'm retired.
Okay, you're retired now. Yeah.
There's days that I want to, that I feel like I could probably go back to work.
Yeah.
But it's hard to find an employer that's willing to accept the fact that one day I might just be beat and tired and not be able to think straight and need to go home halfway through a day. And no employer's going to accept that.
Yeah.
Right? So, right, I try and find other things to do to have purpose in my life.
Yeah.
Because without purpose, life sucks without purpose.
Yeah. So has your executive functioning being kind of affected? Doing multitasking things like like it's easy for me to like I'll go and grab the bowl of a box of cereal, and at the same time I'll grab the bowl and I'll grab the milk out of the fridge. Putting all these things together. Is that a functioning problem, or is this the memory issues?
That's not a functioning problem because that example there is one working system. You're grabbing the bowl and the cereal, and it's all kind of working together.
Yeah.
But if we're having a conversation about this, and then my phone rings, and my buddy Ryan calls, and he wants to talk to me about this bike or that bike, I will not be able to do both, right? Like, right? And then to come back to our conversation after I had that conversation, it would take me some time to know where we were at, or you would have to tell me one of the two.
Okay. And then what has gotten you through every day? Just you've got a determination to get better. I mean, I think you understand you have a brain injury and you've got to just take it slow down and just pace yourself, eh?
I do. I mean, it's frustrating. Like I used to tell people, right? I used to feel that I needed to tell people I had a brain injury so
Yeah.
they would understand
Yeah.
my struggles or if I was slowing. And then somebody used that against me
Yeah.
and said I used my brain injury as an excuse.
Yeah.
So that has affected me. I try not to tell people about it anymore.
Yeah.
I just do my thing.
Yeah.
Because if I don't tell you, you're not going to know.
Well, it's a silent injury. Like
Yeah.
like I said, I see you right now. You look like a normal dude to me.
Yeah.
You know, you like to ride motorcycles. I mean, you like to keep yourself busy. But I mean, I think and what's happened, like when we're growing up, it's like you hit a noggin, you hit your head, and get back up and move on. And unfortunately, that was the wrong way to treat brain injuries.
Yeah.
Getting like you're playing rugby and you get a concussion, you just get back in there. You got to be a wimp. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But there has been this development with the NFL about brain injury studies,
Yes.
secondary syndrome, impact syndrome. If you have a brain injury, you get hit again, you're going to probably be worse off for your brain, because you're already susceptible to a brain injury.
Right.
Are you watching yourself of what you do? Because I've had several brain injury clients, unfortunately, in like a trucking accident, slip and fall, a motorcycle accident, and they hit their head again, and it's boom. It's like there's a setback almost, or they do you watch what you do and make sure you don't hit your head around? Or?
Well, I'm back riding again, and I was riding really, really hard.
Yeah.
And I was riding. I couldn't. I couldn't not ride on the edge.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
When I would go out and find corners and turns, I would push it to the edge, be riding right on the edge of. And when I say on the edge of crashing, on the edge of everything, because that's where I felt alive.
Yeah.
But I recently went on a track day with Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
Right before the rally.
Here in Carstairs, the
at Rocky Mountain Motorsports.
Yeah, up just north of Calgary.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
I went on that track day. When I rode in Nelson this past at the rally.
Yeah.
That feel and need to push it to the edge was gone.
Okay.
After a 3-hour track day.
And so what happened? What was this change all of a sudden?
Because I can't push it on the street like I can on the track.
Yeah.
I can't lean on the street like I can on the track.
Yeah.
I'm way more aware of the cars coming at me than because there was 0 cars on the track.
Oh yeah.
I'm way more aware of the dangers on the road now after one track day.
Okay, so you're more of a controlled environment with Epic Carstairs, taking that track, doing the twisties. I know that track's got a lot of corners in it compared to Area 27, like near Osoyoos.
Yeah, Area 27 is a much more flowing track. It's not tight like Rocky Mountain Motorsports. Rocky Mountain Motorsports is a tight cornering track. It's a racer's dream, that track.
Yeah.
Because there are so many corners that if you can get on the inside of somebody on a corner,
you pass them.
You can pass them, and there'll be multiple passes on a race weekend on that track because of the corners that are there.
But I know Area 27 has more of a straightaway where you can catch some speed, eh?
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, like most tracks, right? Speed is low end speed is the only thing that really makes a huge difference on the track. 1,000 to 600 on the track, pull close to the same amount, like same lap times.
Yeah.
Because it's not about the top end power. Right. So it's about the power to rate ratio and the low end power.
Yeah. So have you been out to Area 27?
Multiple times, never been on track.
Oh, okay. All right.
Right. I've been out there with my boys. I got a bunch of guys that race.
Yeah.
Right. So I've been their logistics guy and hauled bikes around them forever.
Yeah.
And
okay. But you haven't actually tracked it on a motorcycle?
No, that's I'm actually selling my street bike. I'm trying to sell my street bike now. I have, and that's a Diavel. I have a Monster.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, if you want to push your Diavel on my podcast, so what years are
I have a
Diavel?
2013 Diavel dark that I'm selling.
So it's all black.
Yeah, it's all black. I have shad side bags and a backrest.
How many kilometers you got on it?
18,000.
18,000
I'm looking for get 12 out of it so I can
Yeah.
move on to a slingshot and
Yeah.
ride a slingshot on the street. And then I got a monster on the way. I'm going to ride my monster on track.
Okay, is it the new monster or the old?
Oh, no, an older one.
821 or something like that?
My buddy Ryan bought it for me, so
Okay.
haven't even seen it yet.
Okay, all right. So, yeah, if anyone's looking for a pretty good used Diavola, give Blair, my buddy, a call, and maybe you can hook up and get a deal and have a sweet ride for the rest of the summer, eh?
Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be great.
Yeah. And so getting back to the rally, I mean, that's been going on for quite some time.
Yeah.
And, I've gone several times out there. We're always a sponsor. Like Chris Spears just puts a great event on. It's always organized well.
Yeah, he does a great job.
Yeah, he spends a lot of time just himself doing it. He's got some support.
He does. He's got a little bit of support, but he does 90% of the stuff himself.
Yeah, but he's just got this huge passion about Ducati.
Yeah, always
bringing
has.
everyone together in Nelson, BC, which is just a great location.
Yeah.
It's all held at the Adventure Hotel right there in downtown Nelson.
And they are great.
Yeah, and they square off the whole back parkade, and we put the signs up, and you can park your Ducati there the whole.
Yeah,
pretty much
we
4 or 5 days.
Cordon off the whole parkade so only bikes can get in.
Mm-hmm.
And then we license that parking lot as well so we can drink.
Yeah.
The servers from the pub
Yeah.
come out and service right in the parking lot.
Yeah.
So after our riding day, when we want to start drinking,
Yeah.
they take care of us.
And then one of the good things is the banquet dinner he puts on.
Yes.
I think this year is Sunday because we had the long weekend going
Right.
in. So, I mean, he we had, what did we have, like 80 people show up or something like that? 90 maybe, or somewhere in the 70, 90, eh?
Yeah, I think towards the higher number. I mean,
Yeah, but it was well attended this year.
very well attended. Yeah.
The only guy that wasn't there was that guy, the lever guy, Palazzo. What's his name? Palazzo. Pazzo. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's still in Spain, eh?
Yeah, I think his wife was having a baby or something.
Oh, okay. Congratulations to him.
Right? I'm not sure. I know there was something that was happening that he couldn't make it.
Okay.
Right? He's been there every year that I've gone.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Yeah, and he's always supporting the rally and giving away gifts and all
Oh,
that
yeah.
stuff, door
Yeah.
prizes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we had a nice roast beef dinner. I mean, I enjoyed it. My family came along this year.
Yeah.
And they enjoyed it. And then, they also had all those door prizes to give away and everything like that. Eh?
Yeah, he always finds there's always sponsors that Chris drums up door prizes out of the sponsors and right, Pazzo donates levers every year.
Mm-hmm.
I actually won them this year. I'm donating them to a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And then
Mm-hmm.
there's it's just a good time.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, you're back to some, like some sense of functioning in your life. You're not working now. You're riding again. What's your passion now that's keeping you busy every day?
I find helping others
Yeah.
is what gives me purpose.
Okay.
I mean that's a good. It can be a good thing and a bad thing because, right? I'm on disability. I only have so much money.
Yeah.
Right. So, going out and helping others and spending my time or spending my money to fly or going to help people do stuff costs me money, and I can only do so much of it and get the purpose out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But that's what I do. If that's what gets me the most value.
Okay.
What I get the most value out of is helping other people.
Yeah.
I can have somebody I met yesterday
Yeah.
call me and say, "Hey, can you help me with this?" I will drop everything I'm doing to go help that person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know them.
Okay.
That's just the way I am. I'm trying to learn not to do that as much.
Yeah.
Right? Take care of myself more, but that's just not the way I've been.
Yeah.
It's what I'm trying to do.
Have you always
now.
had that good heart, or has it just arisen since the accident?
It's always been that way.
It's always been there. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, what are you keeping busy doing now? You're volunteering. You're helping out. I know you're involved in the race team now.
Yeah, I'm helping Phil the Gamma Blanchette a lot.
Okay, so I know who Phil is.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of people in my office know Phil is.
Yeah.
We're also back now. We're sponsoring him.
Yeah,
again.
it's great.
And so, who is Phil? Just so my viewers understand who this young gentleman is.
So Phil is 16-year-old kid running CSBK.
And CSBK's racing.
Is Canadian Superbike Series.
Okay, yeah.
I know his dad from his dad raced.
Yeah, Nick.
Right.
Yeah, he's a nice gentleman.
Right. So, and that's how we know Phil, because I knew his dad.
Yeah,
and Phil's just done so great that he's such a humble kid.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I wouldn't be pushing for him or looking for sponsors for him if he wasn't so humble.
Yeah.
Right. This kid is 16 years old, going to get Rookie of the Year in CSBK this year, without a doubt.
Okay.
And in sport bike, he's regularly placing 4th or 5th. In super bike, running his sport bike, he's regularly placing 5th or 6th.
Okay.
So, right, it's just a matter of time before he's on the podium on a regular basis.
So one thing that happened at the rally, I think Chris mentioned he's getting international eyes looking at him. Is that sort of true now?
Oh, I would think so, right?
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't make much sense if they weren't watching him closely.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? He's 16 years old, racing with the big boys,
Yeah.
and competing with them.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Like, I know the race in Edmonton. He was in a battle for fourth, fifth, and sixth. We're all in a battle together. 1, 2, and 3 were all spread out in the race.
Yeah.
TSN covered that 4th, 5th, 6th race.
Oh yeah.
The whole race. They didn't cover it 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Because
he had a lot of coverage on TSN.
oh yeah, huge.
And then I know just recently he was out in Nova Scotia.
In Chubanaki, yes.
Yeah. How'd that race go out for him?
Same thing. I think he was 4th and 5th in sport bike.
So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, for 6. I met him. We're back now sponsoring him. His dad's such a nice gentleman. He's just a clean cut kid. He's very tall now. For when I first met him, he's like.
Well, I mean, when you first met him, he was just a little one, right?
Yeah, he's like 5'11" now.
Yeah.
Good looking kid.
Yeah.
Just very polite and pleasant. I mean, obviously he was raised well by his parents.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And so it's interesting that you spend all that time helping him, because you just want to help him and you want to develop his career, and hopefully he goes far in this career. Hey,
I have no doubt that he can.
Yeah. What's the
with the right support?
What's the limitations right now? So people understand maybe there's other sponsors out there that are looking to help him out.
I mean, the biggest limitations right now is he needs to be on a better bike, and that's already happening. We're working on that right now.
Okay.
And then it's money.
Yeah, you always need money. Yeah.
It's money. It's money for tires and gas and
food
and food.
Lodging.
Right now, honestly, him and his dad sleep in their minivan, so they don't have to spend the money on a hotel.
So if he was staying at the Hilton and having like steak dinner every night and driven around,
most racers aren't going to leave the track over the weekend.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They need an RV or something to sleep in at track, because by the time they're done their race day, Phil can go lay down and go to bed, but his dad and me or whoever else is there for crew is still working on that bike till later.
Yeah.
Right? So we don't leave the track.
Yeah, I know.
Right? When we finished working, we go to bed.
Yeah. So it's not all this glamorous life.
There's zero glamour.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah. It's just the passion he has and the passion for racing, and you want to see him go far in this sport, hey?
Yeah. I do, because he's so humble, and because he's not cocky, and because he is that good without an attitude.
So has he ever given you any tips or how to become a better rider?
We don't talk about my riding. That's not right. Like, that's
okay.
When we're at the track, the last thing that is in concern of anybody's mind is me.
Yeah, I know, but if you got a good kid like that racing, spotting 4 and 5, and you never ask him, hey Phil, I'm in this corner. What should I do when I'm going down to Brad?
No, I haven't gotten there, because I'm more worried about just getting stuff done that needs to be done for him.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you got a good heart, and I appreciate that. And you've gone through a lot of stuff. Obviously since this accident that you had, and it's just good. And now getting into bikes, let's talk about a topic you and I are, probably that's the reason why we clicked so many years ago.
Yeah.
Ducatis. What's the appeal? Have you always ridden a Ducati, or was it a transition from another bike?
My very first bike was a Suzuki Katana.
Okay, I know that bike. Yeah.
My very first bike was a Suzuki Katana, and I told my ex, right after I went and got my bike license, I said to her, I will go out and buy the cheapest bike I can find.
Well, that's not the cheapest bike. If you go to Glen...
Hold on.
All right.
That I won't be embarrassed to be seen on.
Okay.
And that's the one I found. I bought it used. And then my buddy Ryan that I mentioned earlier, he's been racing and riding Ducatis for forever.
Yeah. So Ryan, he's a racer. He's an older. He's young, he's quite older than Phil. Yeah. He's our age. Early 20s. Right?
Yeah. Early 20s. Yeah. He'll love that. He's a sponsor for Phil as well.
Yeah, and Ryan's been racing for a while. Is he from Calgary too?
He's originally from Alberta. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And he's a buddy of yours. He's been around racing for years and stuff like that. Okay.
And he's the reason I ride Ducatis.
Okay.
He got me into my second bike. He found me a Monster.
Okay.
And I've been on Ducatis ever since. He would help me work on my bikes. I would always take my bikes over to the race shop. We'd wrench there.
Yeah.
Right. My bikes never went to a shop unless they had to. Right. Unless we didn't do valve adjustments. So they would have to go to a shop and do valve adjustments. Yeah. But we did everything else in the race shop.
Spark plugs,
everything.
All that stuff. Okay. Brake fluid. So what's the appeal of Ducati? Why why haven't you gone back to Suzuki? I mean, Kawasaki's got some nice look. I like their lime green color. It looks pretty funky.
When originally, Ryan wouldn't work on anything else, so that's all I could buy because I wouldn't have any help to work on anything else.
Yeah, but have you had the itching to go get a BMW S1000?
No, never.
Why is that?
Because you stay with what you know.
Yeah.
And Ducati is what I know. I love the sound of a Ducati.
So you think it's important to be consistent and loyal in life, correct? If you enjoy a product.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we do grow now. I mean, you and I are about the same age, and now we find ourselves in a microwave society where there's no loyalty, there's no consistency. People change employers like they change underwear almost, right?
Right.
Yeah, or they change friends because they don't like the friend, and it's like going to buy another microwave dinner. Like, okay, I don't like mac and cheese tonight. I'm gonna go get shepherd's pie. Okay, but you just feel like if you like a product, you want to be consistent with it. You want to stay with it in the good times and bad times, eh?
Well, if I like something, I like it, and that's what that's my thing. Period.
Okay.
Right. I mean, if the quality goes down in a product or something, I don't ditch it right away.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I mean, if all of a sudden that product totally sucks and is never improving, well, then
you got an issue then.
They've lost it themselves, not me.
Yeah.
Right? So
but fortunately Ducati, I mean, they did get picked up by Audi now.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. This is the debate I have with my family. So is Ducati really an Italian company or German now?
We can debate stuff like that all day long, but I could really care if it's Italian or not.
German, yeah.
Right?
Okay.
As long as they come out with a good product and they continue coming out with a good product, great. Right? But like I said, I doubt that I'm going to be on the street much longer on a bike.
No, why is that?
Because I'm going to buy that slingshot.
Yeah.
And I'll take the Monster and I'll just track.
Yeah, okay.
I'll do my 2 wheels on the track.
So what are you going to do next year at the rally when we sponsor you again to come out?
You're going to ride the slingshot.
Okay, you're not going to be in the bar, eh?
I will, but I'll bring the slingshot.
Okay, and where are you going to park the slingshot?
We'll find me a spot. Okay. It's okay. We'll figure it out.
Okay. It's a 2-seater, eh?
Oh, yeah.
So when I come out next year, it'll take me for a ride in your slingshot?
I will.
Because I know you have to...
Or you can ride the bike and I'll take your wife.
Okay.
How's that?
I want to ride in a slingshot. I don't know. I've never been on a slingshot, so I want to see what... But I know you have to have a Class 6, right?
Yeah, you got to have a bike
and you got to wear a helmet in Canada, not like the U.S. Okay.
Yes.
Have you driven a slingshot yet?
Yeah.
What do you think of them?
I like them. They're great.
Because there is a guy, he was here in Calgary. I don't know if he's still around, but he made his slingshot look like the Batmobile, and he dressed up as Batman. I don't know if you remember seeing
Yeah.
him. Yeah, he was in around the Kensington area. I
Yeah.
don't know what happened with that dude, but
I don't know.
yeah, but I haven't seen him in a while. I mean, that was way pre-COVID. I saw him. But you like the slingshot, and then you're gonna track your monster, eh?
Yeah.
And so you'll be around the Kootenay Lake next year on your slingshot, eh?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And then, I mean, obviously, you know, you've had Ducatis for a while. Is there a certain Ducati that you had that was just, you know, the best one you ever had, like the Diavolo, or?
So I mean, I've had the Diavolo, the Street Fighter, a couple Monsters,
Yeah.
and 2 Multistradas.
Mm-hmm.
I really like my multi.
Yeah.
I really like.
Well,
my
that is the number one selling model that Ducati has
Yeah.
right now. And I do have I had the Pikes Peak, and then this year I traded in and got the new RS.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is a sweet bike.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're comfortable. They're smooth riding.
oh yeah.
You don't know how fast you're going with that big windscreen.
You can track it easily. I know guys that track them.
Oh, I've seen guys track them. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because for such a tall bike, right?
Yeah.
Like,
But is there a dream Ducati you'd like to buy, even though you're not gonna, you know, you're gonna be tracking stuff now?
if I were to buy another one, I'd probably buy another multi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one, the Pikes Peak or just the touring one, or now the RS, the new one that's come out?
You know what? I'm not the type that cares, right?
Yeah. I can just give you a basic multi and be happy
I'd
with
be
it.
happy with it, right?
Okay.
I'm not. It doesn't have to be. For me, it doesn't have to be bling,
Yeah.
right? Like there's people that want chrome and flashy and
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
right? The only flashy bike I ever wanted was the one that I built. Was
Mm-hmm.
my tribute bike. That was the only ever one that was flashy.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of them I could care less.
That was an orange bike.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, and then obviously there's been big changes at Ducati. Obviously with Audi taking over, and you know they have very good financial stability there.
Yeah.
They've got a really good R&D department, research and development department, and one of the top bikes I know they're selling very well in Canada is the new Panigale V2.
Right.
Yeah.
Troy Bayliss.
Yeah. Well, there's 2 models now.
Right.
There's a red one. And then they got this funky matte black one that
Yeah.
came out this year, and now you have a Troy Bayliss, which is a limited edition 20th anniversary
Right.
of Troy, the famous racer.
Right.
And what do you think of that V2?
I love the V2s, and it's a great bike. It's a great bike on the track.
Yeah.
They have so much low end power, and they just pull.
Yeah.
Right. They're a great bike.
And so the V2 is, I think the V2 is going away because they've released now that Ducati has a final edition for next year coming out in 2025. But the V2, I know the horsepower is about 155 horsepower. That's more than enough bike.
You actually got it for sport bike. You have to dial it back.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Okay. And obviously, you know, Grover Law Firm being a big supporter of One Broken Biker. I know one of the 2 donations bikes we gave to OBB, One Broken Biker, is that nice V2 black, matte black one.
Yeah,
You saw
that's
that?
a sick bike.
It's sick, eh?
Yeah.
You agree with it?
Oh yeah, I love the matte black though.
Yeah.
Right.
It's got the nice red trim, so
Yeah.
you agree with me. That's a sick choice I made for
Yeah.
that. Eh? Pretty
Yeah.
good, yeah. And then you also have a V2 Troy Bayliss.
Right.
And are you're familiar with that kind of bike?
The Bayliss has a whole new livery.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's a lot brighter.
Yeah.
And then they went with the Gold Olins adjustable shocks, so
Yeah.
totally upgrade the shocks, which
Yeah.
are sick.
Yeah.
And that's huge.
Yeah.
Suspension on a bike and changing to an adjustable suspension is massive.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you got to know how to adjust it and everything, but
Mhm.
it's night and day when you have ride with proper suspension.
But both are really good bikes. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
At the end of the day, I mean, you know, One Broken Biker's got 2 bikes that Grover Law Firm gave from the heart to
Right.
help them out, help raise money for injured riders, and I mean that V2 is just a sick bike, like you said.
Oh.
You know, we now have our own bike night starting tomorrow. Hopefully, you can show up tomorrow.
Okay.
We're gonna be at Calgary Cycle City at June 25th, starting at 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. We're going to have our monthly bike nights once a month till the end of the season and going into next year.
So you're going to have them at Cycle City every...
Yeah. No, we're going to have Cycle City tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then we're going to probably change up the venue. In August, we're going to go to Big Sky because I love the food there and it's just a great venue.
Yeah.
And then, we'll change it up every month. I mean, the whole thing is we want to make it a bike night enjoyable for everybody and have a different theme every bike night. I think tomorrow, what is it? What's it? Mexican. Okay. You like Mexican food?
Sure.
Because we also have a mariachi band showing up there.
I like mariachi band.
Okay. Well, the mariachi band will be there from 5 to 6. So if you can show up with your son, that would be great.
Yes.
And then the big revealing is obviously Grover Law Firm. We love the motorcycle community here in Alberta. Like I live and breathe motorcycling. You know me so.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've asked me that, right? Like we've talked about it, and you're like, I asked you the one day, how busy is your firm with motorcycles, right? Like, because I mean, that's essentially the majority of what you do. Because you still do truck driving and advertising that too, but to expand to anything else, like the motorcycle community loves you because you love them.
Yeah.
Right? So you take care of every group, motorcycle group in the city.
Well, I learned from my dad, you don't put all your eggs in one basket, and there's enough love out there that you can spread the love. I mean, obviously there's enough hate out there. There's enough war. There's enough people that are jealous of you.
Yeah.
But I think, in life you have to give love back. And, we love One Broken Biker. We love AAA, All Against Abuse. You're a member there.
Yep.
John Graham, he's been on this podcast. He's just a great guy.
Yeah, he is.
You can just have a beer and shoot the shit. Just talk with him for hours about bikes or traveling. Yeah. He's a good maritime boy from New Brunswick.
Yeah.
There's obviously Fresh Start. I mean, they've got their big poker run coming up next month, August 24th. And we all know that someone's been affected by addiction somewhere, either gambling or booze or drugs. I mean, it's something that happens in life generally. You can't avoid it. And obviously, the honored ride with the military and the police.
Right.
We sponsor them. I mean, I just like giving back. I like to work hard, and my staff knows, like, I'm working hard to help the community and give back. The thing is my parents always said money will come and go, but you got to be a pillar in the community that you are in to give back to the community.
Right.
Either your time, if you don't have the money, give your time. Like, I know you said you don't have a lot of access to money, but, you do spend your time with Phil and, you've got from your heart, you're a good man. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Yeah. And so, we've decided to give away 2 bikes. We're going to give a 2024 Harley Road Glide, Shark Blue color.
Nice.
And then we're giving a 2024 V2 Troy Bayliss. This is just a free draw. I don't want any money from anybody. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah, and anyone can enter it. And November 30th, we're having our Christmas party. I hope you're around November 30th. I've got 2 tables.
Put it in my phone.
Okay, well, make sure you come and, you can sit at my table. Okay?
Awesome, thank you.
Because, I mean, I just think of you as I admire you, what you've gone through with the accident. I deal with these accidents every day. And, you could have just, complained and just wept and all that stuff, but you're a fighter, right?
I try to be, yeah.
Yeah. And so, we want to support you in any way, and and we want to support the motorcycle community here at Grover Law Firm. It's not all about money. We can make money, you know, but I think the heart is to give back to the community. And this is a free draw. You can enter it. Hopefully, you win the V2 Troy Bayliss, and maybe they'll change your mind. But I just think it's really important for everyone to know your story, and you've stuck through it thin and thin, and I'm so happy to see you at the rally. Like last year and this year, you're just having a good time, even though you're not doing a lot of riding around the Kootenay Lake and up the Castle or Creston like years before. You're just having a good time, right? And it's just that Nelson is just a beautiful area.
I mean, that Adventure Hotel, all the staff there, everybody there is great.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I just have a good time.
Yeah.
And I go to socialize, and like I said, my riding, right? Like last year was the first full year there. This year was my second year since my accident. Mm-hmm. And it's just my want to ride hard on the street has changed, and
Well, you're not 21 anymore.
yeah, I'm not.
You're 23 now. You're getting older, right?
Yeah, I've gotten a few years older. I got my son I got to worry about too. So
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But obviously, I mean, just to see you there and be happy and talk to everybody, that's something that gives joy to your face, and it gives joy to us at Grover Law Firm to pay your registration. I know you don't have a lot of money coming in, but just to pay that registration fee and make you enjoy it on us, and also enjoy that great dinner. I mean, that roast beef buffet dinner that Chris has, the Adventure Hotel put on.
Yeah.
And the fabulous gifts that are given away, and you got those levers, but you got this commitment to Phil that you're going to donate it to him. Hey,
Yeah, they're gonna go on his new bike.
okay, all right, cool, very cool. So any plans for the rest of the summer? I mean, we're almost halfway through July now with this heat wave going through.
I'm just right now, honestly, I'm concentrating on me and my house and just trying to get it more organized and in order, and try and find some ways to earn a little bit of extra money. Right, because things just are getting tighter and tighter all the time.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, we all know there's inflation.
Yeah.
The cost of gas is going up.
Yeah.
The cost of food's going up. I mean,
all that's going up, but my income isn't.
Yeah,
my income will never go up. My
Well,
income is going to stay the same for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So I got to figure out creative ways to earn a couple dollars without screwing over how I get my money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, you'll find some way.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, any plans coming up for the rest of the summer?
Not particularly. I don't have any big camping trips or there's no bike trips. We have the AAA Poker Run will be coming up towards the end of...
Yeah, that's August 17th.
Yeah.
So you want to tell... I know you're a member there, right?
Yeah.
And what's your member name?
Hooge.
Hooge, okay. And how did you get Hooge?
I got given that name when I worked in the casinos many, many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll just leave it right there.
Okay. All right. But that's coming August 17th.
Yeah.
And we're a sponsor there. I'm going to probably show up on one of my mini bikes and enjoy the day.
Yeah.
Where's the meeting place again? I think it's in the Northwest.
Yeah, it's at the same pub in the Northwest. I think it's, if I remember, Mad Rose, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and they get a good breakfast pizza there.
Yeah, they do. They do a full breakfast spread of pizzas and coffee, and if you don't want eggs and you want some toast, they'll make you some toast. Right? Like they're just great. It's a great little pub there. We have breakfast there, and then we leave there. Usually have police escort to get us out of town.
Yeah.
Get us out to the Trans-Canada. We go up the highway to
Highway 40.
The casino, and then go up Highway 40, up over Highway 40 to Turner Valley.
Yeah.
And then Black Diamond, stop in Black Diamond or Diamond Valley now.
Yeah.
And then we end back up here in Calgary. And this year we are going to the Blackfoot Inn and Hotel.
So that's just up the road from Grover Law Firm.
Yeah.
Just up at Blackfoot and near Glenmore.
And Glenmore, yeah.
Yeah, because it used to be the Deerfoot Casino, eh?
Yes.
Is there a reason why they changed it this year?
We want people to stay in the party.
Not out in the casino.
Not out in the casino.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I love John and I love what you guys do. I mean, obviously there's a big story behind how John founded AAA. And, unfortunately it was something that unfortunately happened in his family. But it did lead to a good result because you guys are a great organization and you help people out so much.
Yeah. It's and the groups that we help, I love, right? Like, the Women's Shelter and Airdrie, the Veterans Association Food Bank.
Yeah.
And now this year, one of our members, Juicy, turned us on to, I'm going to remember correctly, but a mental health association.
Yeah.
And we did our first annual fundraising for them this year, and we're going to continue to do that every year.
So you're out there helping good communities, supporting people that need the help.
Yeah, and then the random guys that we run across that one of our members runs across and says, you know what, they need a helping hand.
Yeah.
And we'll call or email John and our executive and say,
Yeah.
listen, this person needs a hand. What can we do for them?
Yeah.
And we'll figure something out and do it for them.
Okay.
Right? Women that are in a bad situation need help being moved.
Yeah.
Schools that need a playground built.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of stuff that comes out.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, I mean, it's just you got a good heart, and I respect you for doing all this stuff. I mean, unfortunately, we live in a society, a Western society, where money is always, talked about, and you buying stuff, and you just continually buying more and more stuff that doesn't really satisfy your life. You know what I'm saying?
And that's totally true. I've spent a ton of money since my ex and I split.
Yeah.
Because I can, and what else am I going to do? And I've bought all these material things that I am now selling because I never use them.
Yeah.
Right? So it's very true.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think people remember if he had a nice car. My dad was a doctor here in Calgary, and he always went out of his way to help people out. And, it's a big influence in our life, especially me and my three younger sisters. People still remember my dad over 20 years he passed on because he just had a good heart, and he made sure we all had an education. Yeah. But mom and dad always made sure, if you're in a privileged position like a lawyer, doctor, or accountant, make sure you give back to the community. And I think that's an important thing that myself and my three sisters carry, and we clearly have that vision here at Grover Law Firm.
Well, you have that vision. Like I see, you have that vision, and you want to help. It's not just wanting to give back to promote your business.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it's not. I truly don't believe it's about promoting the business. I truly don't believe that's how you feel.
Yeah.
I believe that you're doing it because you believe it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, and I think you have an obligation to help out society.
Yeah.
You're here so many years in your life. You may live to 105. You may die early like my dad at 63. But I think, it's not about promoting the business. There's just an obligation, I think, as a human being to help other people out. Wouldn't you agree with that?
I would agree, but I wouldn't agree that everybody thinks that way.
No,
right?
Yeah, and unfortunately, not everyone agrees that way. But at the end of the day, of the small amount of people out there, that help other people out, I think it's important for those people to, have some recognition and understand that there's people out there that want to help people, just to want to help. You know what I'm saying?
But I think people that are in your position that do that are huge.
Yeah.
Right. What you do for the community, especially our community, the biking community, is not a small thing.
Yeah, I know.
Right. You say it's just giving back. I say it's changing things because you're giving us and all the other people that you support the power of having that bit of extra money to do what we do.
Yeah.
Right? As in One Broken Biker. They couldn't raise the money that they raise off of 2 motorcycles without you buying them.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how much those 2 bikes cost, but it wasn't cheap.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I like giving away bikes because, first of all, I don't want to listen to my wife complain. Okay, let's leave it another bike. No matter how high you try to hide these bikes, she always finds them. Women have that radar going on.
I see you're putting them in the office now. So,
I got them up in the penthouse. I got them up in the penthouse in the building too, right, Zach? I got a bike at Zach's house now. But I think it's important also, just to see the happiness, when we go to these events and those bikes are raffled off, this is the dream.
People that get them,
just to see the smile on their face.
Yeah.
I remember last year I donated another BMW to another group here called Bing Lang 2.0. You're familiar with the Filipino riding group?
Right, yes.
And unfortunately, Yano, their leader, passed on.
That was tough.
But when that raffle ticket was pulled, and all of a sudden, this guy from Edmonton from another group called No Invite, Darwin, he just went ecstatic. And it was just, it just gave me such happiness at Christmas time to see, I gave this guy a dream, and, we're making a change in people's lives.
Yeah.
And changing the community, and also, he's got this bike, and he came down to our barbecue all the way from Edmonton 2 weeks ago at the Stampede Barbecue at Big Sky, and he still has the bike. He loves the bike. And it's just the happiness he sees in his face. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, the attitude that you've changed, and I don't know what kind of attitude the guy had before, but
Yeah.
I you know that he's got a very positive attitude about you and your business and helping other people.
Yeah.
Because it happened to him.
Exactly. Yeah. But one step at a time. Change doesn't happen overnight.
No.
And eventually, maybe we'll get there where everyone helps everyone else, and they're not just thinking about themselves all the time. But that could take some time.
It takes a lot of effort.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I want to thank you for being on the show today. It was just a pleasure. I've known you for so long, and I know you took time out of your busy schedule to come here today, and hopefully the summer keeps you busy.
Yeah.
Hopefully enjoy this heat wave. I mean, maybe I'll hit 40 or 50.
Well, we have flag football. My son plays flag football, so I mean that's something we're doing throughout the summer.
Yeah.
Right. So that'll be.
And then you'll be at the AAA Poker Run August 17th.
Yes, I'll be.
Okay, you better be there because I'll be there.
Yeah.
And you and I can share a breakfast pizza. I love that place. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you, and hopefully you have a great summer. And we'll see you back around. And we always run into each other all the time. Okay.
Multiple times throughout the summer, I'll see you. I'm sure.
I hope you've already marked for next year Ducati Rally 2025 back at Nelson.
See, the key to that is you book your hotel when you're checking out, so you
Yeah.
already have your hotel booked before you leave.
Oh yeah, I already booked the hotel, so I'm bringing the dogs out again, Winston and Ruzy. So maybe you'll see them sniffing around.
They're good. They haven't been out, so that'd be awesome.
They'd be too busy just trying to get over this heat wave right now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Excellent.
Thanks, Blair. And I wish you all the best for the rest of summer. And we'll keep on being positive and helping. Just the fact that you got this great heart and helping fill out, that's just respectful and from me and everyone else here at Grover Law Firm. Okay.
Great, thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you. So, folks, everyone, thanks for tuning in again for a great another episode of the Bulldog Brewhouse Podcast. Hopefully everyone's doing well, enjoying the heat, and if you have time, we've got our biker night starting tomorrow. July 25th, continuing once a month for the rest of the season, and hopefully everybody's staying cool now. And if you're on the road, ride hard, but ride safe, please. Thank you. Take care.